What do camping and teardrops have in common with Thanksgiving? Hi, I'm Jen Grover. Stay tuned as we dive into this special Teardrop Thanksgiving edition of Tab Talk. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. I think you're really going to enjoy this special Teardrop Thanksgiving edition of Tab Talk. No, I know some of you are thinking, Jen's going to cook a turkey in the air fryer, and that's actually not what I'm going to do. But I do think you're going to enjoy this special, unique Thanksgiving feast of thanks that we're going to enjoy today. Each dish in this virtual feast represents something related to the Tab or camping community or my travels or your travels that I am really thankful for. Whether it's the hijinks from our adventures, heartwarming memories, silly mistakes, or anything else that you're thankful for, I invite you to join along in this feast by sharing your comments and thoughts in the comments below. So let's jump in to our main course. Let's start right off with the turkey. And sometimes I am a real turkey, and I'm sure you feel like a real turkey at times too. You know, a couple of the ways recently that I have been a turkey on my camping experiences was when I tried to take off from my campsite without raising the trailer jack. Now, thankfully, I realized it before any damage was done. I really only started to pull away, didn't even get a foot away from the campsite before I realized what was going on. But I can be a real turkey too. Another time this summer, I was traveling and, you know, I always say one of two things is likely to happen to you, or both of them, if you tow for long enough. And I've been towing for 10 years, and you know I tow a lot of miles, so it increases the likelihood of me having a mishap or a mistake. And one of those two things happened. The first is a tire blowout. That actually happened last year. But this year, I knew eventually that if you tow long enough, your 7-pin cord is going to fall out while you're driving and drag, and you'll have to replace it. And that's exactly what happened to me. Thankfully, a mobile RV tech was able to repair it. A really nice guy near Rapid City, South Dakota, and I was on my way. Now, let's hear it for those pilgrims. And I'm not talking about the ones with funny hats. I'm talking about those of us who've gone into uncharted territory, pushed the boundaries of what's comfortable, and tried something new this year. You know, for some of you, it was just buying a Tab or starting to look at a Tab or your camper before you made a purchase. Some of you purchased a new camper and took it on its first trip. Some of you may have ventured across country for the first time. I know I was inspired by my friends Doug and Betsy and their willingness to try this very long multi-destination trip with me this year. So I'm really curious what you may have done to push boundaries this year. I know for me, it was taking the Tab 360 prototype out. When you take a prototype out, anything can happen because they're not like the typical camper built off the production line that go through all the normal processes. These are campers built to test and try and fit. And I imagine in a prototyping process, you're pulling parts out, replacing them with different parts. But I absolutely loved the experience. It was a great way for me to push my boundaries. If you know me very well, I'm always an early adopter. I love to try new things and test it. And it was a great experience. How did it change me? I think that's a great question. I think every time you're willing to push the boundaries and go beyond your comfort zone, it changes you a little bit. It doesn't all happen at once. It's this whole pattern and lifestyle and habit of pushing boundaries and trying new things, exploring the unknown, much like the Pilgrims did when they left the comforts of their home and came to a new country. Another facet of Thanksgiving that I think can really resonate with us as Teardrop owners is the bounty we experience in tiny spaces. And I'm not talking about big, huge room and lots of luxury. I'm talking about the bounty in experiences and what it affords us to do. Yes, our Tabs and our nuCamp products are incredibly well made, and we do have a bounty in terms of quality of experience. But what I'm talking about are those experiences that we get to do when we explore. We get to see new things, see amazing landscapes, amazing skies. One of my favorite memories this year was driving in Montana. We were in just this nondescript area where the plains meets the mountains, and The sun was giving it that spotlight effect, and all these golden brown fields with rolling hills leading up to the mountains with lenticular clouds that you can really only see in mountain areas was just spectacular. So I am so grateful for the bounty in terms of experiences that we get to have when we travel and camp in our tabs. Sometimes that looks like meeting new people. Sometimes it looks like seeing new things. Whatever it is, I am so thankful for the bounty I experienced this year. What about you? Well, let's move on to what I consider to be my favorite side dish, stuffing. And if you're from the Midwest, you might be like me. I prefer stovetop stuffing. I learned the difference between stuffing and dressing, and I don't really like dressing, but I love stuffing, especially stovetop stuffing. So what does that have to do with teardrops? Well, here's the lesson in it: essentialism. I don't want to stuff my tab so full of stuff that I can't enjoy it. I think the tab and camping and travel that I do allows me to dive a bit into essentialism to help prioritize not only what's important in my camper as far as storage goes, but what's important in my life. You know, this year, the tab really enabled me to experience a lot of life with my family. My younger brother's family is just going through the season where the kids are getting older and they have so much going on. And with the tab, I mooch-docked and was able to go to graduation, to plays, to dance recitals, to violin recitals, to birthdays. So I was there quite a bit. I stayed in the tab, which is less disruptive to their life, and enjoyed all those festivities with them. It was just a great experience. So I'm thankful for how the tab allows me to experience and focus on and enjoy those things that are really important in life. Do you know what the tab community reminds me of? A great Amish casserole, seasoned with the salt of life, all the diverse ingredients that go into making it a rich experience, which usually includes butter if you're having an Amish casserole. But it's true, the diversity of the tab community is really a marvel. And the fact that we can all come together from different walks of life, different locations, different experiences, and share in so much is really impressive. It's hard to find a community that is this encouraging, positive, and supportive. You know, I want to just take a second to say, as far as the tab community goes, I'm thankful for the people who I camped with this year. I camped with a lot of people at different events. I may have met you at nuCamp. I may have ran into you at a campground, or maybe you're a viewer, a subscriber, or even a channel member. All of you have really been an encouragement to me this year, and I'm really thankful for that. It helps me to keep going, to know that what I do with YouTube and with the community is helpful. So thank you so much for your support. I'm really curious, who has encouraged you or been a help to you this year? Don't be afraid to mention them by name in the comments below. Cranberry sauce is one of those things that are a staple at Thanksgiving, and it adds just a sweetness to the meal. And there are things that when I camp really add a sweetness to the meal or to the experience. You know, Rocky is the first thing that comes to mind because he's always there. His personality, he's such a interesting dog. He loves adventure. He loves to not like people, but he does love our experiences. He can't wait to get in the car. And whether it's his adventurous nature, his cuteness, his affection for me, it just adds to the sweetness. Camping with all of you at some of the group events we had was really sweet this year. I think of the solar eclipse event we had at East Harbor with the Ohio and Pennsylvania Tabs and Friends. And then again when we camped in Keystone in Pennsylvania in July. And then there was nuCamp in June. And I even got to connect with small groups of friends and family along the way, like my cousin Mary and her husband Craig in Iowa, and Mike and Pam Heward and our friend Dawn. And then with family when I was in Colorado for a family wedding and camped with Amanda Ball for a couple nights also. Just great experiences. But one of the sweetest experiences that I had this year was traveling with my friends Steve, Doug, and Betsy. Now, I'm not sure any of them have done that type of multi-destination trip before, let alone caravan. So for me, the multi-destination trip really wasn't new. the locations weren't really that new. There were a couple twists in there for me that I added, but for the most part, I've done that before. But I haven't had a chance to share that journey, apart from short stints of that with another friend and my sister-in-law, Nina, but not for the weeks that we traveled and not to all the different locations caravanning together. It was really a rich experience. We had a lot of laughs. You know, we can sometimes have an odd sense of humor. And we shared a lot of just great stories and memories. We talked about what we were reading, what we were learning, what we were observing in the world. But we also had a chance to share our faith and pray together, which was really special. I absolutely loved this experience, and I hope you had something sweet that enriched your experience. Maybe it was a book. Maybe it was a walk on the beach at sunrise. Whatever it was, I'd love to hear what made camping especially sweet for you this year. So, like the cranberry sauce, I love the sweet things, but I really love pie. And in particular, I've grown quite fond of huckleberry pie. And for me, the pie is like the icing on the cake. You have this great Thanksgiving dinner, and then you get pie. Well, for me this year, the icing on the cake was my travels with Doug, Betsy, and Steve. I think our menagerie of dogs, our trio of tabs, and the things that we shared together were just really special to me. I look at the moments we had praying and laughing and just sharing heartwarming stories with each other, and it meant a lot to me. I know that you've had similar experiences, and I can't wait to hear about them. As we wrap up our virtual Thanksgiving feast, I just want to take a second to say again, thank you to all of you who have been supportive, who've watched a video, hit a thumbs up, shared it, commented, or just said things that were encouraging to me over the last year. I am genuinely grateful for all of you. And I hope that you all have a lot to give thanks for this year. I think that we are blessed people. We have bounty, we have freedom to roam and explore North America. Most of you are North American viewers, and there's just so much to be grateful for. I hope this video was enjoyable for you and helps you think about those things that you're thankful for this year. Happy Thanksgiving. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.